So, like me, you've finally done it. The miserable winters, grey skies, bitterly cold commutes were finally enough. You've up stumps, joined the fleeing masses and moved to the promised land. Welcome to the subtropics. Already you're feeling warmer and more relaxed, and the memories of life in the frozen south are fading under a heady subtropical haze. Sweet freedom. But what about the garden? You might think that gardening in the subtropics will be easy because it's warmer, but be aware there may be frost. And while there's plenty of sunshine, summer rainfall can sometimes be patchy and often erratic. Here, there's two main seasons, warm and cool. The warm season runs from December until March, and it's generally wetter. The cool season runs from May until November, and that's generally drier. During the wetter season, the weather stays warm and humid, and cloud brings some relief from the intense sunshine. Rainfall can often be brief and heavy. Conversely, the dry season is characterised by reduced rainfall, lower temperatures and less humidity. But the reality of everyday gardening is that humidity is pretty much present all year round. To help combat these seasonal shifts, always add compost to the soil whenever sowing or planting, and always cover the soil with mulch, whatever the season, to capture and store seasonal downpours. The mulch will cool the soil, reduce runoff, and help in reducing the high evaporation rate. I favour chopped sugarcane. It's a local product and is fine enough to let showers through to the soil. Importantly, chopped sugarcane is excellent food for compost worms. Having spent 20 years here after gardening in London, Paris, Edinburgh, Perth and Sydney, I've learnt a few tips and tricks about what really works in a subtropical food garden. Starchy staples are essential in any garden. They bring satisfying carbohydrates to your kitchen, are easy to grow, and they store well.
And underneath all this withered foliage is a sea of potatoes.
Southern gardeners love the potato, but they can either wither in the warm, dry, windy springs or rot following heavy downpours in the warm, wet soils of Brisbane.
And look at the size of some of these spuds here. They're beautiful.
Rather than chase an elusive good potato crop, instead I grow a raft of alternative starch staples which love growing in this climate. I grow sweet potato, cocoa yam, arrowroot, winged yam and banana. Now, if you're just starting out, try sweet potato. They're easy to grow, but good drainage is essential, so plant in a raised bed. All my vegetable beds are raised 150 millimetres above the surrounding soil level. This will avoid tubers rotting in wet weather. Feed monthly and water sparingly. Watch out for grasshoppers. Sweet potato weevil is active almost all year round, so lift all your crop at harvest time so no tubers remain for them to breed in. Crop rotation, which means changing the bed where you grow them, will limit reinfestation. Usually sweet potatoes are ready to harvest within 3 to 4 months after planting in spring. You can always tell when to harvest by exposing a few developing tubers to monitor their size. Never wait for the leaves to yellow. In the subtropics, sweet potato is evergreen. And don't forget, you can eat the nutritious young leaves and shoot tips anytime. Leafy greens are another workhorse in the garden, but certain vegetables like lettuce and Asian greens, this is bok choy, they can go to seed quite quickly in the warm Brisbane sun. So in order to plan for all year round production, I sow these types of vegetables in succession, and they do best in the cool seasons. I grow an array of edible greens including Ethiopian cabbage, leeks, sweet leaf, king salad and a range of tropical herbs including Vietnamese paddy herb, fish mint and la lotte. If you're looking to dip your toe in the water, try Celtus. It's a type of lettuce which is really popular in Southeast Asia. It's primarily grown for its stems, which are peeled, sliced and stir-fried, and they're delicious and succulent. But you can also eat the leaves. I chop these up and add them to stir-fries, soups and casseroles. It's totally at home in the tropics, and sometimes in my garden plants can get to 3 meters tall. It's so easy to grow from seed. And you can't have a subtropical food garden without at least one exotic fruit tree, and my pick is the papaya. You can eat the ripe fruit, you can make lovely green papaya salad. With the underripe fruit, the seed will relieve any constipation, and if you run out of black pepper, you can chop up the leaves. It's brilliant. They're surprisingly adaptable and very generous in their yield, but they're best treated as short-term perennials and replaced every 2nd or 3rd year. Why? They often succumb to viral disease. You can cook the green fruit. They taste a bit like pumpkin. My other tip is to pick the fruit green and ripen it indoors to avoid fruit fly. Tomatoes are revered around the country, and it's no different here in the subtropics. This is gross leaf. It's one of the all-time favourite backyard tomatoes. The difference here is the method in which we grow them. The season to sow or plant tomatoes in the subtropics is autumn. Sow in March and plant April to May, the start of the drier season. Tomatoes relish a temperature of 23 degrees Celsius. You also avoid fruit fly attack until the end of September. And to reduce the risk of caterpillars eating your fruit, grow cherry tomatoes. Another subtropical must-have is frangipani. In this climate, you don't need to limit yourself to the old-fashioned white. We can grow hundreds of cultivars in a rainbow of colours, and there's a range of fragrances. Here, you can live your best subtropical life. They're pretty foolproof, but they must have full sunshine and excellent drainage. Feed them twice a year, once in spring and again in summer, and use a slow-release fertiliser that's high in phosphorus for strong root growth and high in potassium for great flowers. They don't like to be overwatered. Water well once a week during dry summer months or during drought, and let them go dry in the cool season. Down south, all of these plants that surround me would be grown indoors. But here, we can just plant them outside. What's that? That's the sound of Melburnians turning green with envy. It's time to start living your best life in the subtropics, so cast off those shackles from your former existence and get gardening in the sunshine. You'll never look back. Dip in the pool, anyone?